Men, if you're worn out from trying to carry everything alone, it's because you're wearing the wrong yoke. Did you ever feel like you're trying so hard, yet always coming up short, striving endlessly, never measuring up, especially at home? This devotional calls Christian men back to bold servant leadership, breaking free from burdens God never intended you to carry. Discover how Jesus' yoke transforms pressure into peace, making Christian husbandry and fatherhood practical and powerful again. Our verse for today is from Matthew 11:29. Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Hey, my name is Christopher Smith, and thanks for joining Men of the Shepherd. I spent way too many years trying to please people instead of pleasing God. Maybe you know exactly what that feels like. Always worrying about being good enough, smart enough, or strong enough to meet everyone's standards. As men, we put our heads down and we keep pushing forward, determined to make things work. We think that's what strength looks like, handling life on our own. But here's the truth: going it alone doesn't make us strong, it makes us exhausted, frustrated, and spiritually empty. When I first came to faith nearly 20 years ago, I was excited but confused. I grew up in a world where faith was about rules and regulations and rituals. It wasn't about knowing Jesus. Nobody in my family talked about Jesus. Church was something we did because we were supposed to. So when I finally met Christ personally, I didn't know what to do next. I wanted guidance. I was calling for leadership. I wanted clear, practical steps on how to lead my family in faith. But instead, I ran into walls of rules and subtle expectations, even in a church community that preached freedom from legalism. I remember clearly one painful moment early in my walk. I felt God calling me towards Christian counseling. Excited to follow this path, I reached out to my church leaders for help. Instead of support, I got silence. Then, when I went ahead on my own, I was accused of acting like a lone wolf. That phrase cut deep, and I still remember the sting. But looking back, I see clearly that I had placed too much trust in men's approval and not nearly enough, if any at all, in God's direction. I wanted men to guide me, validate me, and tell me I was worthy. But you see, God had something better and bigger in mind. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're there right now, caught between a genuine desire to follow Jesus and the heavy pressure of trying to meet everyone's expectations. Maybe your heart generally wants to lead your family, but you're unsure how to do it. The truth is simple but powerful. Jesus never intended for you to carry this alone. In fact, he's offering you a better way. He's offering you his yoke. In Matthew 11:28-30, a very important verse, Jesus calls us out clearly. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. And listen to this, men, learn from me. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Guys, this isn't a casual suggestion. It's a call to bold, decisive action. It's a call to discipleship. It's a call to manhood. It's a call to men of the shepherd. It's Jesus inviting you to trade your heavy man made burdens for his way, his teaching, his leadership, his presence right beside you. So what's holding you back? What heavy load are you dragging that Jesus never asked you to pick up? For me, it was the burden of seeking approval and validation from everyone but God. I spent so long feeling unworthy to serve, constantly worrying about measuring up to other men's standards. And here's the kicker: I didn't realize I was in that state. I thought I was following God's will, but I wasn't. I was always looking for men's approvals, always trying to prove myself to other individuals. But everything changed on January 15th, 2025, as I was doing my devotionals. The day I fully surrendered my worth to Christ. It was the moment I realized something life-changing. I'm worthy to serve Jesus, not because I meet the world standards, because he called me, he equipped me, and he walks beside me. Men, listen closely. The world's yoke is always heavy. It's the pressure to perform, to prove yourself, to please others. It's rooted in pride, self-reliance, and ultimately leads to spiritual burnout. But Jesus' yoke is different. It's not about doing more, it's about being more closely connected to him. He calls you not to religion, but relationship. He asked you to trust his leadership over your family, to follow him first, and let him guide your steps daily. Walking in step with Jesus as the leader of your home changes everything. Suddenly, you're not striving alone. You're moving forward in peace and confidence, not because you're perfect, but because you're perfectly yoked with the one who is. Your leadership at home isn't forced. It flows naturally from the strength that Jesus provides. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to stay close to the one who does. Imagine the impact if men, real men like you, stopped trying to carry their families alone and instead let Jesus lead through them. Imagine the strength you'd find, not in trying harder, but in trusting deeper. Your family doesn't need you to be Superman. They need you to be surrendered, humble, obedient, and bold in following Christ. They need to see you submit your life fully to Jesus, leading not by the power of pressure, but by the peace and presence of Jesus Christ. Today, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself honestly, whose yoke are you carrying? Is it Christ's yoke of purpose and presence, or the world's yoke of pressure and pride? Surrender isn't weakness. It's the truest form of strength. It's acknowledging that Jesus is more capable, more powerful, and infinitely wiser than you could ever be on your own. Men, Jesus' invitation is clear. He is gentle and humble. His yoke is easy, and his burden is light. Take it on. Embrace it. Lead your family boldly in the confidence and peace only he provides. He is calling you to discipleship. Today is your day to step up, lean into his strength, and become the servant leader he called you to be. Men of the shepherd are called to lead like Jesus, live like Jesus, and love like Jesus. Thank you so much for being here today. I wish you the best in God's love, in Jesus' love. Lead like Jesus and love like Jesus in your walk with him and your family today. Shalom.